on, man?
Word. All right, man. It's your boy, Culture Talk Bev in the building, man. Today, I got a very, very, very special guest. Let the people know who you are.
Got BOYD today, man. What's going on, my brother?
Everything's good, man. How you feeling today, King?
Man, I'm blessed.
Word. For the people that may not know, man, I know a lot of people right now, they be tuning into Stars every Sunday. They watching the new BMF series. This is the guy that's portrayed by Wood Harris. He's playing the character named Pat. This is the real Pat. This is ED Boyd, man. Salute to you, man. Thank you for joining us today.
Problem, man. I'm glad to be with you, my brother.
Word. So, let's just start from the beginning of your story, man. You was born in Detroit?
Born in Detroit, man. Raised in New York, Brooklyn, man.
See, I think that's the thing a lot of people don't know. Talk to us about that. Like, when did you go to New York?
My mother took us to New York, man, when I was 3 years old, man. My pops got killed, and we moved there, man. I was like 2.5, 3 years old, man.
Word. Would you say that you went to New York to, like, try to get away from what was going on in Detroit? Your mom?
That was my mom's plans. That's what she wanted to do, but it didn't end up like that.
So, like, talk to us about your times in New York. Like, what year was that when you was in New York and you spent in New York?
Okay, well, I was, like I said, I was 3 years old, so that was like 67, man. I came back to, and I was there all through, I think, to like 78, 79.
That must have been a completely different time in New York, though. I was born in the 90s, so
right. That was you yeah.
I don't even think my mom's came over here yet at those years.
Yeah, man, it was wild, man. But you know, I love that fast life like out there, man. I was raised out there. I had a good mentor out there, man. As far as my man Caesar, man, he taught me that street life out there.
Yeah,
and that's what started me, you know, in the game out there, man. That was my first. That was my, as you say, that was my first plug out there, man.
Word. So, like, would you say, so New York, you got started in the game in New York type shit.
Right.
So what made you come back to Detroit after all that?
Well, my mother didn't like the direction I was going in, man.
Both ways, right?
So she just moved us back. Mainly her family was back here in Detroit. Okay, you know, her father was there in New York, living in Long Island, and but all the rest of her family on my father's side and on her side is from Detroit.
Word. So, like, what was the game like in New York during that time? Was it even a game?
Yeah, it definitely was a game, man. Because Caesar had it going on, man. He was the man, and everything that he was doing, I admired, and I was just so fixated on it, man. And I just, you know, wanted that work, man. You know, he put me down, man. I first started just, you know, fucking around with his pigeon coops, man.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted more. You know, I was there from that, man, from, you know, being a lookout, man, you know, corner man, and then running that bag.
A lot of people hear the term pigeon coop, and I think people don't really know what that is. Like, can you explain to the people what that is exactly?
In New York, I think Cali as well, on the rooftops of the apartment buildings, people had pigeon coops. They raised pigeons.
Yeah.
You know? So they had them. I forgot the word that they used. That they would click them out. You know, just the one with 5 or something be coming or something like that. But the birds was real smart, and they loved them. They were pets, man.
That's crazy though. Like, I feel like that's like, it sounds older, but that's a little more advanced. You feel me? Like, he was low key playing with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Word. So when you came back to Detroit, would you say you brought like a New York swag with you over there?
For sure, man. You know, that's what got me in a lot of trouble, man. With these cats out here, man, they didn't understand that, man. You know, that fast talking and the fashion that I was wearing stuff that because New York was getting it first before Detroit. You know that as well.
Yeah.
I understand the clothes and how the way me and my sister were talking, and it just people took to the winter. You know what I'm saying? But these cats out here, man, they didn't like it, and I ran with it.
Fuck it, why not, right? That's crazy though. So like, were you started the 50 Boys in New York, or you started that team when you came back out here?
No, I started the 50 Boys in Detroit, but before the 50 Boys came along, the 50 Boys came along in my time in the streets, like halfway in the street.
Yeah, like you was more established.
When I was in the streets, man, I had crews, man, all over the city of Detroit, man, from Ramos to the east side, man, west side. I had, crews, pushing weight, man, back then, before the 50 Boys. Actually, my first crew that I got put down out here was the Raphael crew. My man Pops and Tavio, which was called the 12th Street Boys in the movie.
Oh, okay. So that was the other team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how was that like? How was that time out there? So you was running with them at first?
Yes, the 50 Boys came later, but the Raphael crew was the first one of the first crews, that I put down out here. Okay.
Yeah.
They were in Southwest Detroit. I was on the west side, east side, all that as well, and I had other crews, but I mentioned those two cats, Pop and Tavio, because they still loyal to me to this day, man. We best of friends and we hang out, we still see each other and kick it and chop it up.
Yeah, that's dope. So you would say like, you was like one of the first major players out in Detroit type shit?
Yeah, I would say so. And one of the youngest too.
Yeah.
In the series, they got Wood, as an OG, but I started the 50 Boys off when I was like 21, 20.
So you was moving early.
I was moving early, 8 in the round.
Word. So what was like the culture and shit back then? Like being born in Detroit, moving to New York, then going back to Detroit. Like, did people know you was from New York and shit? Like, how was all that?
Oh, definitely. But people knew I was from New York because we would come. My mother would send us from New York to Detroit, every summer for maybe a month or so, but I didn't want to stay I didn't want to go, and I didn't stay long as my sister stayed. I always wanted to come on back to New York, because, I was in them streets. I wanted to get back to them streets. But when we, came from every summer, so everybody, I have friends and family members that knew, we were from New York.
Yeah.
It wasn't no secret. Everybody knew that.
Word. That's dope. So like you said, when you came back to Detroit, how quick did you meet Meech and T and all that?
Okay, well, let me go a little ahead before.
Yeah.
Okay, I was on the west side with these cats named Reggie and Bear, and that's where I started off with them. Okay, and we had my family owned a car wash out there where all the big shooters, the YBIs, all the guys that had big bags would come up to the car wash, and so that's how I got Bear. And
what was the name of that hood? Like, what was that hood called?
That was the west side. You talking Joy Road, Quincy, Dexter, Linwood area, all that area over there. That's where the YBI area. It was the YBI, Dexter and Joy Road and all that.
Yeah.
I started up there, and I ran out. I told Barry and Reggie about Southwest Detroit Equals. It's like Equals, man. What the fuck is Equals? What is Equals? So they wasn't with it. And I'm like, I'm not with what y'all doing here, because I was raised to be a boss, man.
Yeah.
And so I just took off, man. At first, I was getting a bag from Reggie, and then I got too big. The shit got too big, for him. My cousin was dating Norman Sneed, YBI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And she introduced me to him, and that's when me and Sneed took off. I was, getting big bags from him and just tearing the town up, man. They couldn't understand it. I was giving those 2-for-1s, and my prices were so, they just was like, New York nigga coming out here doing this, man. I was just, man, knocking them out.
I know that kill people. But what exactly y'all was dealing with? Like, it wasn't bud. Like, y'all was dealing with bud. Was bud was weed into play at that time?
Weed was into play, but I really, wasn't big into the weed. I dabbled into the weed thing, but mainly my thing was that white powder, man.
Yeah. And that was what was the clientele for that back then?
Well, back then, I mean, the clientele for back then, it was like today. I mean, you had, I had the corporate clientele.
Yeah.
I didn't deal with that street too much, because I was like more of a corporate kind of type of guy, man. I never got my hands dirty. I stayed like in office, man, and did my thing, man. And I dealt with, high class people, man, lawyers and attorneys, man, all type of people like that, man. People that own businesses and all that. I had a good clientele like that. I never, I was very picky, and I want to say this too. I'm not glorifying the street. Never that, because it chose me. I didn't choose it. I didn't have to do it. But because my family, we was well off. I didn't have to do it, but it was in my blood, man. I was from pimps, man.
Yeah.
From the numbers to drugs. All the men in my family were street men, and it was just that taste couldn't get out my mouth, man.
Yeah. Do you pay attention to what's going on today and shit? Back then you said it really chose you. You feel like people that get into the game today, is it even worth it? I feel like back then y'all used to really run into money, and it was more safer in a sense. You feel me? Man,
because right now, man, a motherfucker couldn't even give me 100 bricks. I mean, give it to me, and I'll now, man. Because the game now, man, it's just totally different. It's the street life is totally different, man. It's twisted, It's three values that I lived upon, man. And it was my platform. It was loyalty, family, and trust. Okay. And these cats now, man, they use this word, the boss.
Yeah.
That's too likely, and they don't really know what a boss is. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You look up in the dictionary, boss, a person in charge of an organization, group of a work, but it's also a person in charge is the head of a family. Okay, take care of their family. They be the head of the household, man. You know what I'm saying? Their family should not want for anything. You see your family hurt, man, they shouldn't have to ask you, okay? That's a boss, okay?
Facts.
Yeah, your family, man. Instead of, because these guys be so into popping these bottles at the clubs, money and doing this, flying here, flying there, doing this and doing that, man, but, and their family ain't eating. It's just not. I wouldn't like that, man. It's in the game. It's just twisted to me now. And then you got to deal with these snitching motherfuckers and for real, because you don't know, man. It's like, man, you don't know who to trust for real now, man.
That's a fact. Now we gonna get back to the snitching though, but you made a really good point about being the boss. So talk to me about being the boss of the 50 Boys. Was that what you lived by?
Oh yeah, I created them. I mean, I created monsters, man. Eric and Terry, I created monsters, man. The boys, man, they were young when I got them. They were like 14, 15 years old. And Meech and Derek, those two, they had the street already in them. Okay. Yeah. So they was hungry and they had the eye. Meech was the first person that came to me. Okay. And because I used to ride up and down the street and he used to see me and he would wave, because I was the person to be waved at.
Yeah.
People always wanted to holler at me, So he cool with my nephew Kilo.
Okay.
He got with Kilo and told Kilo, man, when once you do an intro with your aunt, man, I need to get with him, man. And so Kilo, told me about it, and I said, man, bring him over to the house. Tell him to come to the house the next morning, man. And it was history from then. He was the first 50 boy. Okay. Yeah. And the thing got so overwhelming for him. He came to me and said, man, can I bring, my brother and my boy in? I said, man, you the loop for that crew, man. Let me talk to them, as long as they, with it, Because, like I said, I was picky about who I fucked with.
Yeah.
Okay? But, he brought them and I sat down with them as well and talked to them. And I said, okay, I told Meech, you in charge of them, and then we got to the point that it was we were molded so much like a family, I made sure every Sunday it was mandatory for us four to go to dinner, down and issue, any problems or just to chop it up, eat and chop it up. You know what I'm saying? That was every Sunday we did that, and after that I took them over there to Northland to the mall and took them shopping, man. I was
You treated them right.
Like a father figure, uncle figure, however you want to say it, but I made sure that family value was stuck into those boys' heads, man.
So Derek was the third one.
Derek me.
Yeah. Is he's the one in this TV show?
He's B Mickey.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I feel like in the TV show it's more of a dynamic that he's like under Meech, but so you'll say they was all together, like they all three started together.
In reality, see, okay, now we're gonna talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Meech as the boss of everybody. Okay, but okay, now Meech was the lieutenant of the 50 Boys.
Yeah.
But they got him, but don't get it twisted or nothing like that. Because the show is I love it. It's great. You can't take shit from 50. Okay, yeah. Do great shit, But the show is entertainment, man, and people got to know the difference between real and fake. Okay, and because man, some of the questions I get, man, that is ridiculous, man. I'll be like, are you serious? You asking me that shit? I mean, this is another thing. It's like these people nowadays, man, they live on this TV and this Hollywood shit, man.
Facts. That shit influences a lot.
Real. And it's not. You try to do that shit that you see on TV, take that shit to the street, you're going to get your ass killed.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
So, but that's how, on the series, they got Meech, they got Meech, like, when they just came out as the 50 Boys. But when I got with them boys, they didn't fuck with a triple beam. Okay? I had to teach them from scratch. The family was, they didn't have no money. They was poor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They came from a poor structure, but their mama and their father made sure they ate. But when they got with me, I definitely made sure the whole family ate good. You know what I'm saying?
What type of like numbers was you bringing in back then to even be able to start a whole crew like that?
Numbers, it was great back, man. they was on a bad day, you know, they was bringing like 15 stacks, man. You know, it is bringing about 15, you know, 35 stacks a day, man, on those 50s, man. You know, because I'm sure they had, because you had so many people that was calling themselves 50 boys back then.
But they wasn't really down.
I mean, well, see, Terry Meach and Derek, okay, I'm going to say, those were my 50 boys.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if they gave some people some work, those people considered themselves 50
boys too, yeah.
You know, they couldn't, you know, come to me. You know, nobody could fucking come to me. You couldn't come to me talking nothing to me about shit on the street. Okay?
Yeah, like, if you deal with, like, the only people you dealt with was them three. Everybody else was on their own type shit.
Hey, as far as the 50 boys, that's all I dealt with was love.
Yeah.
Okay. In the series, they got, they even got a woman working for me, Kato and all that.
Yeah.
There was no woman in none of my organization, none of my crew at all. Okay, only the closest woman to that would have been Speedy and Yolanda. They were 50 girls because they used to cook for us and all that, and they used to hang on Bassett every day around the 50 boys and whatever. So when I say Bassett, that's where the street that my grandma, where I grew up on out there. Yeah. And that they were considered that they were the closest to 50 girls that there was out there. There was no women that walked into clubs with us. We walked out of clubs
with women. Why though? Was it just really because of that? Like, why was there none?
Why was it what?
Like, why was there no woman working for your organization at that time?
Because back then, as far as me, I didn't deal with women like that.
I feel you. Now it's a different time. The shit was all different.
You know, they didn't have a lot of women, you know, back then, you know, but I'm not going to say, now they had, it was a stream of women that were getting down.
Yeah.
But I didn't, you know, have no women in my crew that I was giving work to or nothing like that. Okay, that was doing anything like that. You know, the closest person that was fucking with my money was my wife at the time.
Understandable.
That was the only, you know. Other than that, it was no woman taking no bags or nothing like that or nothing. So, but you know, you Hollywood has to get your attention to keep watching.
Exactly.
Okay? They gonna do they spin on what they do, okay, to make you sit at the edge of your seat and watch this show, okay? But again, I love it. You know, it's winning. I'm winning.
Exactly, you know? Like facts. Do it. The question everybody wants to know is the character Lamar. Is he based on somebody? You told me the 12th Street Boys was actually based on another crew. Is Lamar real?
Lamar is based on that. Yeah, a person out there that I was beefing with, which is Leighton. Okay, and yeah, he's a bizarre character.
I know that's Hollywood like.
Okay, the 50 Boys inherited that beef.
Yeah,
because Lamar is older than me.
Oh, okay.
And so when I was out there, like I said, when I first came out there, he was one of the motherfuckers that I was out there fucking a bag up. So he been from the rip. Me and him started beefing in the early 80s, man.
Yeah.
You know, when I first came out there, you know, straight out of high school, you know, we was beefing because I was fucking his shit up, you know, and he claimed that he had, like, I don't know if you've seen his interview. It just blew my mind. And,
I didn't.
You know, he was calling me. He said, "I don't know who the words he used. He think he's the notorious, and the guy had to tell me, like, he couldn't even say my name.
Facts.
He didn't even say my name, right? And then the interviewer asked him, well, who was the 50 boy? And he said, Pop. Pop wasn't a 50 boy.
So y'all had like real static, like that shit is to this day still, like
that real static, man. The guy, they got him as like every time we seen the dude, you know, we had issues, man. But it wasn't like that because I would laugh at the dude, man.
Yeah.
Because he even said that I had to get permission from his people to come to my wife's funeral in 06. Okay, I wasn't even in the game in 06.
Exactly,
okay?
you was already done.
Now I was doing construction in 06. I've been out the game for, man, I want to say 6 years. Okay, I've been out the game. Okay, and he talking about I needed permission to come to my town, which is still my town. Permission from who? He said that I put the town in cars with tinted windows. And I would see him, and I would creep down and bag up when I see him and keep doing it. And I'd be like, damn, if he thought that was me in the car, why didn't he engage?
Exactly.
It's like, the killer, why you let me talk to you like that? Okay? So that was some bullshit, you know? So I don't know what, I think he's mixed up. Like, he said that 12th Street was his street and all this shit. He talking about in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, I was still in New York.
When you came back, you took over.
I took that shit over in the 80s.
I mean, it's like he could play into that role though, because the show really got him looking like the boogeyman. You know what I mean? Like,
but sure, they got him looking. Man, hey, he was, but dude was. he did some weird shit, man. Like he the tracksuit with gators on. With 2 bull masters.
Nah, that's different.
That's different as hell because I ain't never seen a nigga with a tracksuit gators on back then. I don't know what they're doing now with it, but a tracksuit and
with gators
and 2 bull masters, and he be walking. I'll be like, this nigga, and I'm saying, because this, you know, East Southwest River Rouge, that's a small area, so everybody knew everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I was seeing him, man, and I was just laughing at the dude, man. but they got, like, we was running from them and scared, and we would have shootouts for corners and all that shit. I ain't deal with no corners, man.
Facts. Nah, that's how I got it looking though. But I'm glad that's why I'm glad you up here.
Yeah, I didn't deal with no corners and shit like that, man. So, you know, and then he got they got the 12th Street boys working for him.
Facts. He was like the boss.
Yeah, and that was my crew. That was my crew. Then he had no Pop Tavio, my lieutenant, none of them, Steve, all Jay, none of them dudes worked with that man. You know, so Hollywood is Hollywood, man. Like Facts. I said, take nothing away from that. I'm not going to take away from that, man. So, you know, it is what it is. That's how they want to play it. It's good, you know. I'm going to keep watching it. I love the show.
Nah, it's cool. Yeah, facts. I fuck with it. It's like, I ain't going to lie, it's the hottest shit on TV right now. Like,
entertaining and it's damn amusing to me. So,
do you feel like you was, do you feel like you should have been involved with it at any point?
Of course I do. I think, you know, I would have got a better deal, you know, as far as, you know, in the show. It would have been, you know, told better if I would have had some say so in the writing of it. Yeah, of course. You know, because he would have been more realistic.
Okay. Because I know they got like T is involved with it. They got the little sister involved with it. I think T's son is involved with it. Obviously, Lil Meech is acting like
all that, you know. But back then, you know, Meech's sister, she was young.
Yeah,
you know, she was a baby, so she really, you know, didn't know, you know, about what was really going on. But you know, people, you know, and I'm not for nobody for, if they see a door and they open it, there it is.
Yeah, facts.
Get your money for that shit, do what you do,
Yeah.
But
You feel like my fault. You feel like the dynamics that they show between Meech and T and they family, like, is that accurate? Because I feel like the movie kind of shows like it's going down a path that T and Meech is gonna be beefing with each other.
Yeah, that's what it looks to me like. It already shows like a separation.
Yes, it's showing it real early. Like, did it happen that early?
That kind of like, damn, they showing a separation already.
Yeah.
How they, with D-Mick, all that. It's showing us something like, damn, next season's going to be really hot, man, because it's like T is not going to be there. They got you thinking, T is gone. He's going to be, they're already going to be separated,
Yeah, exactly.
And so I don't know how that's going to turn out, but like I said, the family, how they got, let me say this, Meech's story, okay? So you can't tell them how to tell it. This is Meech's story, and I respect him, and to this day, I love for him and T, all them boys, okay? Well, I still talk to them, so we good. So this is Meech's story, man. He told me this. We was corresponding with each other, man. This was like before the show came out.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years before it came out, when they was in talks and it was going to just be a movie. Okay, then they changed into the series. So I said, man, so what's up with this movie? He said, ED, I'm gonna tell you just like this, man. It's gonna be my story, and because I taught this man, so I know what I'm hearing through these words that he's saying. I know what it was going to be about.
Yeah.
I knew what it was going to be about. It's Meech's story.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about your portrayal and your relationship in the show and how y'all separated? Like, let's talk about that.
How we separated?
Yeah, just like the whole character, like the whole scheme of thing about you.
But in the show, the separation didn't go down like it was portrayed in the show. Okay?
Yeah, well, and the show is kind of crazy how y'all separated.
And let's start with Pat. Can't take nothing from Wood because he doing some hell of a shit.
Hell of an actor, facts.
Because, hey, that's my man, and I shouted him out when I heard he was doing it and all doing the series.
That's dope.
But I didn't act like Pat. I didn't talk like Pat, okay? I didn't do all the shit that Pat was doing.
Yeah.
Busy. Okay? I stayed out the limelight, okay? And we did have an office, okay? But the office was behind my limo company, and I didn't have that kind of shit around my business and shit. So we wasn't in the back, conducting business with hoes and back there, and all that shit. But that shit wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Businessman, okay? And how they got portrayed in the series is the totally opposite, okay? And I didn't stalk them boys for my money. Them money was not a problem getting from them boys, okay? Especially Meech wanted to bring it to me and shine so much because he didn't. Here you go, Edie. So that's how it was with them. I didn't have to go in no clubs and stalk them and say, man, have my money by this day.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't go down like that. But this is the separation went like this. Meech came to me and said, man, can we have a little sit down, man? I said, okay, yeah, meet me at so-and-so. So him and Derek and Terry, and I think this cat, a lot of people don't even know about it. Nigel was with him, okay? And so we sat down and they said, man, we want to get weight, man. We want to do our own thing like that. Give us the weight, and we can do the 50s through me giving them weight. Because, like I said, they were kind of envy of the 12th Street boys, because I was giving them weight.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I came up with a gimmick, those 50s, right? And I was looking for a crew to do it. And that was the crew to do it at the time. I wasn't ready to give them weight. So he said, man, well, if you don't want to give us weight, man, do we have your blessing if we want to move on and just create our own band?
Yeah.
I said, a hypocrite is why I said no. I try to be bosses, okay, from day one.
Facts.
Raise y'all to be bosses. And that's what I want you to be, a boss.
So you was just giving them like packs? You was selling them like packs already made?
I was giving them sacks, like 5,000, 10,000 sacks each. And they would bring me back a percentage of that.
Yeah, so then they came to you and they told you, yo, we want some weight type shit.
But see, them boys was making, them boys was still, at that time, they were 14, 15, 16 years old, they was making like 10 stacks a week, man.
That's money. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that's even today. Like, if you making that at 15, 16, you eating.
I never mistreated none of my crew, and nobody out there can say I did. You know, I treated everybody like bosses. I didn't have workers. I didn't have no workers. All the people that worked for me were I shouldn't even use the word work for me. All the people that were under me were bosses. Okay? Now, what they had is what they had. Okay? But totally, it's different now. It can't even go down like that now.
Facts, like how that shit went. And you just told them, all right, do your thing, and they went on to do their thing?
Because I said, no, you know, I'm not ready for y'all to give y'all that, you know? Yeah. And he said, well, with your blessing. Because after that, we were still cool, and they were coming to me for advice. You know, they said, can we come to you and ask you shit? You know, I said, hell yeah. I raised you boys. You know, we will always be family. You know, to everything I love, to everything on my family. We never had the 50 boys and me never had beefs. Never.
That's dope to know, honestly. Like, that's real shit.
That's some real shit, for real.
Because it shows, like, the structure that you really had, the structure they had out there. And it also shows us that BMF was born on, like, good principles, you feel me? It wasn't born out of beef and separation.
You heard what they call the family.
Exactly.
Okay? So that was still instilled into their minds, you know what I'm saying? That's how I raised them boys, man. Loyalty, family, man. Always, I just drilled that shit into their head, man. Your family, man, everything you do for your family, man.
Word.
Don't let this shit out here get you twisted, and these guys out here these other motherfucking crews get you twisted, and they were hated so much, they inherited a lot of my beats because I took them as well out of gym shoes and put them into, gay suits and told them, start telling them to wear, $500 hats and all that. I put that shit into them.
Yeah, you made them flashy then.
Yeah, the glasses, the gazelles and all that shit. I'm the boss into them.
And it's funny because you mentioned earlier, like, back then they wasn't really too flashy, but that whole era is what really started that and really, in my opinion, mixed the game, like hip hop and the street game all together.
Oh yeah, it's for sure, man. And with Meeks, man, he was something special, man. And he was hungry from day one, and you couldn't tell him shit. That nigga, he was like, if the motherfuckers didn't know I did it, man, it ain't worth doing.
Facts.
Yeah, so, hey, but that people have their attitude. You have to deal with a lot of people's personalities, different personalities. Because all three of them were different.
Yeah.
Okay. All three of them were different.
And it's crazy though. Like, so you wasn't really involved in like the indictment and none of that.
Oh no, none of that. No, I wasn't part of BMF.
Oh yeah, like you was just straight 50 boys.
Yeah. Yeah, but when the 50 boys done and they went to doing their own thing, shit, I stopped doing the 50.
I feel you.
So I was like, shit, fuck it. I stayed on the same path that I was originally on, So the 50 boys, they disbanded.
Word. So you stayed clean then, like you ain't really doing no jail time.
And then shit was getting, it was just getting too ugly for me and my family, because my family was the first thing I'm thinking about. My wife getting shot at and attempted to rob her and all that.
Yeah.
Everything just got too overwhelming for me, and I was getting too out of hand that the police was harassing me, and I want to say this is funny too. They got Meech as the he's the protector of all that whole thing.
Yeah.
He tried to protect all that. Okay, so but that's Meech's story, and that's how he wanted it written, and that's how it is. But the police didn't fuck with them because of me. Okay, so they were from Detroit, and E-Course police that they got in the series, the E-Course police, they didn't know them because all the E-Course police knew me. Okay, and they knew them boys was down with me, and they didn't fuck with them. Okay. They didn't fuck with them. So, but I was saying, I went out there in the street, like a lot of them people, just showing my face in that limelight. I gave them the shine. They shine, okay? Concerts, kept them in limos. Then, we drove a limo we didn't drive it. I took a limo to Chicago to one of my family reunions one time. I mean, everywhere, the boys went to Run DMC back Eddie's Passion. I'm talking about every hip hop concert, them boys was there. Okay.
So you laid the foundation for that.
Oh yeah, I sent them to all this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Finest restaurants. Okay. The restaurant they're talking about in there, Sinbad's. I introduced them to Sinbad's. Okay. I introduced them to all types of restaurants.
That's dope. So what do you think, what would you attribute the fall of BMF then? Did it get too big?
I mean, when you're dealing with that many people, you know what I'm saying? You got shit come from all different states and all this. Of course, man, you're gonna have some shit come out the woodworks, man. Okay, because you can't keep your eye on every single thing, and all them people that you had out there, and I'm gonna go to this thing when I talk about the word boss, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Meech them came out with those T-shirts that had boss on, BMF, BMF. In the club, they would wear them T-shirts with boss on them. Okay. People do the research. All this shit come from me. No shit. I instilled this shit into them. Okay. All this shit came from me. But to go back to the BMF thing, you got all these different people in all these different states, and you get that big, because they was, the boys went to monsters, okay, okay, and you dealing with something like that, you gonna have the faucet gonna leak, man. It's gonna leak.
That's a fact. When I read upon it and all that, they talk about him and T splitting and T doing his own thing and the phones and all that. Is that true?
Right. I don't know. To this day, right now, what's got me puzzled and got me fucked up is how they split up. Because I didn't teach them to, be like that. Because for one thing, money can't split a family up. Okay, it can't split my family, but none of the people that I raised, in the game and all that, and so it's fucking me up to this day, that they beefing or had a beef for that long. Okay, and then to do that much time and still have this anger, this not no love for each other, it kind of fucks me up, man.
Yeah. Now it's a sad story.
I don't know what's going on with that. So I might have said too much on that because it's just from what I see and hear about them not being cool. When they fell out, it kind of fucked me. I said, "What?" I was like, "What you mean that them motherfuckers they split up?"
Yeah, I mean that shit is like it's a lot of like articles about that shit.
Right. I mean, it's like, I used to hear it, and look at it all the time, and I'll be like, they separated one brother doing this and one brother doing the other thing, but it was all, stuff I heard about because I think I went to Atlanta one time.
Yeah.
And on that, but that BMF, I wasn't involved with that BMF shit at all.
I mean, but even during that time, like, did you even envision to see all this happening, like, from the first time you met Meech and them, 50 Boyz, all this, like...
For me, I knew, like I said, that boy was so hungry, and you couldn't tell him shit, okay? And he was going to go high as he could go.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to fly that motherfucking plane high as he could fly. And that he did. And he showed that everywhere he went. In the clubs, buying the clubs out, everywhere they went. He showed that, okay? But, that shit, it came from the roots of the tree that I planted, okay?
Yeah. And, like, how do you feel like seeing it now, like a whole TV series about that?
It's great, man. I'm glad the boys got off like that, man. I'm happy for the family. It's all good, man. And for me to, something that I created to see on the screen, it was exciting for hell, man.
And that's why I really wanted to bring you up here because, like, a lot of the people know BMF and all that, but like you like a legend. You somebody who was usually they say if you win the game, it's either jail or death. You feel me? You was in the game, you made it out, you left a legacy.
I say this before, we in this too. I want to in there too, man. This is for these young people out here that choose the men and the women. The game is not like it was that if I'm like one of the 10%ers, okay, mm-hmm. I would say, okay, you got in that shit and you got out because if you can't seeing yourself getting in this shit and getting out, don't even fuck with it. I advise don't even fuck with it
at all.
It's not. The shit is all twisted. It's not. The game is. The younger generation has this game in a different fashion now, man. It's not like when I grew up at all.
Yeah. I actually had another question for you. When you was growing up in the game, you feel me? We're gonna go back, you feel me? Did you ever run into like any of the other notable names? Like an Alpo or that was like way after your time?
Okay, like Maserati,
like people like that.
And all that. I knew them, Butch Jones and all that, Huggy Bear, that was my cousin, he was the biggest raw motherfucker out there on the west side with Butch. Him and Butch ran together. So I ran across a whole bunch of kingpins because we all frequent the same clubs.
Mm-hmm.
The Cotton Club back then, UBQs, these are clubs in Detroit, okay? All of us hung at these same clubs. We always had our VIP section where there go the YBI crew, there go ED's crew over there, and there go, Maserati Rick,
Fire. One more question, like, what do you think went wrong from, like, your era to the era we in now with, like, all the snitching and all the murders that's still going on?
Man, just motherfuckers don't know how to respect the game, okay? You don't get no respect out of life. People, you killing for pennies, man. And like I said, you out there using that word that boss word too lightly, because I wouldn't, I wasn't praising them boys, for on no beats. I was like, man, before I make beef, because all beef do is make you lose money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's all beef do, man. So and it's too much money out there for that shit.
That's a fact.
It's too much money out there, and then well, man, this word that keep coming up, all this snitching shit, out of hand, man.
Was there snitches in when BMF went down and all that?
I mean, well, I wouldn't know about it BMF because like I said, it's snitching in every game.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't know about that BMF shit.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was talking about snitch, I'm talking about you got guys that telling on people, man. Now and then you can't use that word too lightly, man, because you got people accusing people of being snitches,
mm-hmm.
and and they ain't got the facts.
That too. That happens a lot.
Happens a whole lot, and you fuck around, you getting people killed, man, for that shit, or you gonna get people killed or get your ass killed for accusing motherfuckers of that shit and don't got the facts. Okay, for real.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, shit is crazy right now. Everything's in a sticky place, man.
For real.
You might as well, if you're not built for that game, just stay out of it.
Hey, that's the best thing, man. You couldn't have said that any better, man. If you built for it, and the average motherfucker today is not built for it, because you got all these fake people out here as well. They been fake so long that they think the shit they doing is real. So I mean,
I gotta repeat that. They've been fake so long they think the shit that they doing is real.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fire, man. We gonna end it on that. ED boy, man. Salute. I appreciate you for coming up here with us, man.
Man, look here, man. Anytime, man. My boy from New York, man.
Yeah.
www.50boysent.com. Be looking out for my merchants coming out in the next couple of days. Again, that's 50boysent.com. Merch will be coming out in the next couple of days. And you for sure can hit me up, on my IG, the real 50boyd.d.
Got that on here. Yo, you can shout out Culture Talk too.
For sure, Culture Talk.
Yo,
and I love this session, man. And you're a real brother, man.
Thank you, man. You too. I appreciate that, brother. Salute.
Yeah, brother.
All right.